Hi everyone, this screencast is going to walk you through how to administer an online assessment in Illuminate. For this screencast, we are going to walk through how to do it with an NMUSD Wonders streamlined unit assessment, but the steps that we'll take to do that can be applied to Bridges Math, Illustrative Math, any other assessment that you want a student to take online. To start, we're going to click on the blue tile called NMUSD Wonders. This tile will take me directly to the third grade unit assessments that have been streamlined. Right now you see Unit 1 assessment and Unit 1 performance task. We're going to start with Unit 1 assessment, grade 3. Click on it, and this window will pop up, and you'll have the option to go under the Administer section and click Online. Takes you to this online testing assessment administration window or page. And we're going to start with the first option, which is to just have the students log into the student portal to take the assessment. So to set that up, you'll come up here and click Test in Portal. And you will get this online testing window. By default, it's going to put today's date and give you 1 week to administer the test. You can change that if you want to set it up for a future date. You can just click on the calendar, select your date. It will not be available until that date for the students. If you feel like a week isn't enough for you to get the assessment done, then you can change the end date. And again, if you wanted to get specific with times, you could change those, but you don't have to. You don't have to select anything else because the system sees you as the grade level that you are. It will put your site in and your name. You do have to select your class, just like you do when you set up a grade book. And then just click All Students unless you're only administering to some. You'll check the student count, 21 students, and the rest of these settings are all optional, and I'm not going to cover them right now because they aren't necessary, and you can just click Save, and it will set it up properly for you. So now you'll notice you have this information here. It tells you who created it, when the testing window is. If you had set a time, you'd see that. And then when we get over here to the student info tools, you have some options. So the first one is the assessment panel. If I click on the assessment panel, this is something that you would open up to do live proctoring when your students were already logged into the student portal. Now, just a reminder, you can find the Illuminate student portal under our NMUSD bookmarks in Chrome. So remember that when you have your students go there and they log in like you do with their Google Drive accounts. So this allows you to see in real time how the students are doing. If I go back to the administration window, you'll notice I can also click on the students, and this would show me how they were doing in just a different view by student, not in that live proctoring view. But in this setting, you can do a couple of things. You could pause this assessment for all students. Something came up, you had to pause the assessment, you could do that. You can also jump back to the assessment panel, which is where you saw the live proctoring, or to the aggregate view, or back to the administration window where we started once we set up the first online assessment. Another feature that you can enable here is the help. You'll notice if I click that, it asks you, are you sure you'd like to enable student help? You will need to remain on this page to monitor help requests. So you can either cancel that or say okay. If you say okay, then when the students are taking their assessment, they can actually ask you for help, which we really don't want to do with the benchmark, but on other assessments you could. but you would have to be in this the window that is the live proctoring, and students can ask some questions. So see, no help requests currently in the system. You're doing great. But they would show up here if you had any. That's a little more advanced. You don't have to do any of that. If you set it up like this, which remember, we just clicked Test in Portal and walked through those steps, and then have your students go to NMUSD bookmarks and log into NMUSD Illuminate for students, they will begin to take the test. The aggregate view is going to load these in by questions, but right now we have no student data, so I can't really show you that. Remember, I can get back to the administration window by clicking that. So this will stay here, and now I can show you the second option for administering an online assessment, which is to test with the quick code. If I click on this, it does the same thing, except you'll notice over here, it's given me an access code. And you get the same features, except right now I have 0 students because they actually have to go and use the code to log in. And then as soon as they log in, this number will start to change. So you would actually click on this when you're ready to administer it, and this will pop up on your screen. You can tell them to go to illuminate.online, which is different than the student portal, and enter this code. They still will have to log in with their student ID at nmusd.us, but then underneath that, they would enter this code. Or you can share this link with them, and then they just have to log in with their Google. They still have to log in with their Google Drive account. So that's another option if some of you find that easier than having students go to the portal, but you have to, enable that for this assessment. If at any time you want to get rid of one of these administrations, make sure you have no student data in there and you can actually delete it. So if I check that box and click delete, it will give you this, are you sure? And right now, obviously, since I'm doing this for the purpose of the screencast, it doesn't matter. And I can just say confirm delete. But all the deleted administrations will stay here. And at any time, you could bring them back by clicking the edit button if you did that by mistake. But really, you don't want to do that if students have any data, if any student has started the administration of the assessment. That is online testing, or at least administering it in a nutshell. If you have any questions, contact edtech@nmusd.us, and we will be happy to help you out.